Hi, I'm Josh Lambert, the Group Product Manager for our Enablement section, and I'd like to give folks a quick overview of what we have been up to in this section in preparation for our Monday group conversation, June 22nd. Hopefully you all can get a chance to review our slides and hopefully watch this video and ask us some really great questions. We're looking forward to them on Monday. So let's jump into it. First off, a really quick introduction on who we are in case folks aren't familiar. So the enablement section is a bit different than the other sections at GitLab in that we aren't as focused on user-facing features. We do have global search as part of the section, which is looking to help users find what they are seeking in the product across all of our features. But for the rest of the groups, we're focused on making sure that the operational aspects of GitLab are fantastic. And so that administrators of an instance, whether you're GitLab.com or a self-managed user, can deploy GitLab easily, upgrade it, making sure it stays up and running, and of course is performant and provides users with a great user experience. And so that's kind of what the distribution, geo, memory, database teams are focused on. As you might see here, we've also added product management support for our infrastructure department. This is a new change with the addition, I'll just jump right over to it, of Andrew Thomas. With Andrew Thomas, we have completed our hiring process, and he is our new principal product manager for the infrastructure. He'll be providing a lot of support to both the delivery scalability and overall GitLab.com infrastructure teams and helping to make sure that they have the help they need and also can focus on some of the aspects of GitLab.com that aren't related to a particular other section, right? So there's a bunch of features, and those features, of course, how they work on GitLab.com is the responsibility of those stages, but there's some details on GitLab.com that aren't tied to a particular feature or stage. And so we're looking forward for Andrew's help there as well. So we'll jump back really quickly here to the product categories. I added infrastructure here. We have to do a little bit of thinking on how we represent that across the various pages of the handbook, and we'll get that done here soon. But wanted to make sure we add them there as well. You can review the category maturity there, I think, on your own time. We are driving forward with some interesting and compelling improvements here for both disaster recovery and geo. We're aiming to have all data types replicated here in the next couple of months, and really looking forward to that being available for our users. One exception is pages. The current architecture is quite hard to replicate with geo, and the benefit here is, well, the other factor is that it's possible to regenerate pages by simply rerunning the publishing pipeline. And so this is not content which is gone, it just needs to be republished. And so it's not as concerning as potentially other data types where if they weren't replicated, the content simply wouldn't be there at all. So again, looking forward to having those aspects move up in maturity for geo-replication and disaster recovery. The team's doing a great job. And we're also looking to continue to improve the cloud native installation as well. All right, so next up, let's talk about some performance indicators. First, we have our metrics review on Thursday at 8 a.m. PST. Please join if you would like to attend. We'll go over these in more detail. Down below, you can see that we have a Periscope topic link, and you can get a full sense of our metrics there. Please check them out. A couple of highlights here to talk about. One is that we've recently added effectively a net new instance chart. So rather than showing you the total instances and kind of inferring the slope, we now show you exactly how many net new instances we found that we're reporting in uniquely for that particular week. And you can see that we're tracking about the same, but it has gone up from about 8,000 to around 9,000 average installations per week. And this is a 12-week rolling average. So it is trending up, which is great. But of course, we'd like to see how we can continue to make the process easier, make the discovery process easier of self-managed, and that way you can hopefully continue to accelerate this growth line and keep it moving up and to the right. That said, of course, as we continue to mature at GitLab.com, that may present an easier onboarding ramp for some of our users. And so that might be taking over some of the folks who might otherwise have installed a self-managed instance of GitLab. Other insights that we have here, one is that we continue to see really good results for our paid customers. and staying on a recent version of GitLab. You can see the median there is right around that 1 to 2 month time period for the recency of their version. The big outlier here is Community Edition. It's bordering on almost a year for the median age, and that's something that we want to try and see if we can help to address. These are users who aren't seeing any of the benefits of the recent versions of GitLab, right? All the content in monthly release posts, they aren't being able to leverage. And so we need to try and think about better ways to help our CE users continue to see the benefits of GitLab in our monthly releases. And so that's one thing we want to try and track, and I think hopefully try and pull down in the future. You can also see we're continuing to track other aspects, Elasticsearch with usage being enabled, and Geo. We'll cover those in more depth later on. So let's move on. Engineering metrics, we're a little bit under on the time to merge and MRS per engineer. I'll let Sean comment on this in more detail later on Monday, but we're definitely tracking these and keeping an eye on them as well. We haven't had significant changes to our priorities, so definitely check out our enablement section for a more complete list of what we're focused on and why, but these are essentially largely continuing to make progress in these larger themes. We are continuing to focus on dogfooding. We'll talk more about Patroni in a little bit in more detail. We are continuing to work on that to essentially provide to our customers the same tool that Dogfooding is using for database load balancing and failover. And so that's underway now. And you can see some other updates here on the releases feature and some other improvements to CNG. So let's jump a little bit further on and talk about Geo in more detail. Fabian has completed a recent analysis of customers and their usage of Geo. You can see the complete deck if you're a GitLab employee on this link here. It does contain some more detailed business information, and so that's why it is not being shared publicly. But in general, Fabian has done a great job in identifying users using things like Zendesk above and beyond what is available in the usage ping, and has used that to help generate a target profile for a customer where Geo can really help them. And so you can see in this case what that looks like. Generally 500 to 1,000 seats or above, large enterprise, right? Compliance requirements also is a key driver for Geo, right? If they have to manage business continuity or disaster recovery, or they have more than one location, those can be areas where Geo can really help. So given that customer profile that we have, Fabian took the next step and identified accounts that are on Starter that meet that target profile and may benefit from Geo, and similarly customers who already have access to Geo and Premium but are not currently using it. And so we'll be going through and actioning those lists and working to hopefully make sure that these customers are aware of Geo and its benefits. Other key facts here about Geo, interestingly, we have around 85 GitLab accounts that use Geo currently, but those 85 accounts represent 25% of the premium seats. And of those represent 13% of our total ARR for GitLab as customers who utilize Geo. So some great numbers there. And again, if you have questions, please raise them on Monday, and we will be happy to answer them. As I'm not going to focus on in particular the plans for distribution and the other groups, because number one, if you want to take a look at what we plan for 13.2, please do look at the kickoff videos. Those do a great jobs on our direction page of explaining what we're focusing on and why. And of course, also the release post, which is now available. You can consume and take a look at what we've been up to for 13.1. One area I do want to focus on here is Patroni. I mentioned it a bit earlier, and this is a key change for our customers. They will be migrating away from Rep Manager, which has been our previous solution for Postgres or multi-node Postgres failovers. And Patroni is what using GitLab.com. It's working very well for us, and so we're looking forward to bringing those benefits to our customers. Number one, we have seen a few situations where Rep Manager had some problems. We don't think Patroni has those, and so we're looking to resolve those with this new solution. But it also enables us to have two key improvements, or really three key improvements. Number one, support for Postgres 12, which we'll talk about in a bit later, which Rep Manager 3 does not have support for, but also supports cascading replication. And that's a fancy term for meaning that if you have a multi-node Postgres on your primary, we can now support a multi-node Postgres on your secondary. And so you can have a matching architecture, which is great because if you want to fail over, you generally want to make sure that your instance can handle the load in the event that that happens. Previously, we only supported single node secondaries with Rep Manager. Finally, we've also further automated the process where if you do have a situation where a node of Postgres goes down, bringing a failed back into the cluster is now automated. Previously with Rep Manager, you had to take some manual action. So looking forward to bringing that to our customers, and we're focusing on announcing it here in 13.2. Really quick on the Postgres roadmap, I want to highlight, I think, overall the amazing work that the team did in 13.0 and leading up to it to make Postgres 11 required in version 13.0. This is one of those changes where it's very complicated and there's the potential for sort of fireworks is high, and we have seen very, very few and no major issues. And so really want to give a thanks to the team who worked on this, and also Puma as well, bringing on those benefits, again, without significant disruption to our users, is great to see. Again, these are one of those things that if you do it correctly, the best case scenario is essentially no news is good news. And so I wanted to highlight that because that is the case so far with these. So really great job. As far as Postgres 12 goes, again, we were working on Patroni to enable support for it, but also just the fact that we have support for this allows us to take advantage of the new engine features. And so overall, by simply upgrading to PG12, you'll have a faster performance of GitLab. And in particular, we've been working on partitioning for the database side. And in PG11, we're actually mindful of how many partitions we actually use because performance can start to go down precipitously if you get towards 100 partitions. And on Postgres 12, that's expanded out to 1,000. And so again, there's a number of benefits here, and we're looking to make sure that our users have sufficient time to move to PG12, realize those benefits before we make it required in May of 2021. Another key focus area for us is our Orchestrator Roadmap. Orchestrator is a tool that we've been working on, and our intent is to help make sure that our customers can deploy a reference architecture of GitLab in a matter of minutes. Previously, this would have taken hours to days, and sometimes even longer because they'd have to frequently develop their own Terraform or other infrastructure as code scripts to manage it, right? Once you get beyond a certain number of nodes, you really need automation. And so this will allow us to have automation available for users to simply enter a few commands and get a reference architecture at the other end. We think this will be a really huge benefit to our users to accelerate their time to value, to reduce the amount of investment they have to make at GitLab upfront to start to see some great returns. And will also help us make sure that users are deploying reference architectures as we have seen great results in you just using those as opposed to some of the other kind of customized architectures where there have been performance problems. So again, this is a really key feature for us, I think, to help make sure that we can make deploying GitLab and maintaining it really easy, and also make sure that we've set up our admins for success for their own users. Again, please pay attention to our kickoff videos if you have a chance, or watch the overall one. Some great content there for Geo, and we are focused on a number of areas. I'll skip over this, and please read through where we're going in the category directions, and bring your questions on Monday so we can answer them in the event that you do have any of them. I do want to pause here really quick and highlight one aspect of global search, which has been great to see, and that is that we have accelerated the deployment of advanced global search, which allows for code search for paid groups on GitLab.com, and we expect to be complete on July 15th. That's a great improvement from what we're looking at before, and we already have 100% of all bronze users already indexed today on GitLab.com. And you can see some of those metrics here as far as what that looks like. So number one, you can see that we started off pretty slowly. We had a number of things to fix as we tried to make sure that advanced global search can scale to the size of GitLab.com. And as we made some changes, further improvements, we've been able to really ramp this up, which is really great to see. So again, expect this to be complete in July 15th. And you can see a resulting increase in the number of search volume using advanced global search on GitLab as well. One other quick note is that we've also been able to decrease the size of the index. We've decreased it last release by about 75% for a total decrease in Elasticsearch cost, which is what powers advanced mobile search, by about 80%. So good cost savings there for GitLab.com, but also for all of our customers. So with that, I think we have reached the end of what I wanted to highlight for our video here. Again, please do look through the slides and bring your questions, and also, of course, our category strategies, our videos, and the overall release post for 13.1. Great content in there, super amazing release by the entire team. And again, looking forward to talking with you on Monday.